welcome to the Sawmill station. Okay? Yep, this is the Sawmill station. Where all have y'all been? Y'all went to the introduction, got to see a movie, right? Got to see a video about a tree. Fred,
got some munchies.
Got some munchies, all right. So you've had popcorn. Y'all are coming from Gifts, is that where I saw?
Man.
That's one of my favorite stations. I like Gifts of the Forest.
I want to open one.
We called it the String Art Station.
There's nothing
There you go.
inside
String
this.
Art Station. There you go. All right. So have y'all been? Y'all haven't been to paper making yet, though, right?
No.
Y'all haven't seen Good Fire, Bad Fire? No. Y'all got some cool stuff that's coming to see because those are both fun stations, also. Okay. But what we're going to do, we're going to tell you about the Sawmill station. All right. So I'm Mr. Jonathan. This is Mr. Tripp standing over here. All right. And we're going to be the two leaders for this station for you. All right. So let's talk about a couple things first. Let's talk about Fred. Fred had a dream, right? What did Fred want to be? A house. Want to be a house. Who do you want to be a house for, though?
People. Family.
For people. That's right. You want to be a house for people, just like all of us, right? When Fred was standing in the woods, was he a house?
No.
Yeah. Sure he was. He was a house for animals, right? Right? Squirrels, birds, raccoons, all that kind of stuff. Matter of fact, you even saw a raccoon fall off one of the trees in the video, right? Okay? So he wanted to be a house. All right, so let's think about houses, all right? Y'all got some numbers while y'all were inside this morning, too. One of them's right there on your shirt.
What is that?
5, right? Yeah, we use 5. We plant back 5 trees, right? For how many we cut down?
1.
For each one we cut down, we plant back 5 new trees. Okay? And then we use how many to build the average house? 25.
Otherwise
That's right.
known as
3 billion.
5
Times 5.
5 squared. Very good.
That's right. So we use 25 trees to build our average house. Okay? And we figure the average house is about 1,500 square feet. Okay? But there's lots of stuff in that house that we use wood in also. We use it in our cabinets, we use it on countertops, floors, the walls, all sorts of places. Furniture and everything. All right? But let's think about a long time ago when the settlers came over, following Christopher Columbus and all that. They came, they wanted to settle the new country. Okay? They came and they said, well, all right, we got to start building houses. What are we going to build them out of? How can we do this? And they got looking around and they saw all these big trees around. They said, perfect. We're going to build our house out of trees. All right? So do you think they used more than 25 or less than 25 to build their homes?
Definitely more. They probably
Definitely more. That's right. They used a lot more than 25. Now here's the thing about it too. They used more than 25 and their house was only as big maybe as the size of this shed that's right here behind you. Okay? That's like a fourth of the size of the average home. All right? So they used a lot more and they built something that's a lot smaller. And here's
Remember
why,
the houses we went into at Brantonsville last year? That size.
Okay? So what they did though is they cut the trees down and then they stacked the logs up on top of each other and they made a log home. Which it works. It's a nice and it's solid and it's well built, but it's not a real good use of what we can get out of that tree, right? There's lots of things that we can get out of that tree. All right. So let's talk about the shape of our tree first, so that we're going to have to think about some math and stuff while we're here also. But what shape are my trees right over here? These 2 big trees. What shape are they? They're cylinders. That's right. And we're going to go. You're at the sawmill, so the main thing we want from the sawmill is going to be a board. Okay. And so, what shape is my board?
rectangular prism.
It is a rectangular prism. That's right. So we're going to cut a rectangular prism out of a cylinder. Okay, it's a cylinder because it's round and has length and volume to it. This is a rectangular prism because it is a rectangle and it has length and volume to it also, right? Okay, so we're going to have some stuff that is left over after we cut our rectangular prism out of our cylinder. All right, so we're going to go look at that in just a second, but we got to think about what's on the outside of our tree first. What's all that stuff on the outside of our tree?
Bark.
Bark. That's right. We've got our bark. Okay, and in the video, You probably saw them after they built the house. They were walking around with a wheelbarrow and putting stuff out around the flowers and bushes and everything.
Mulch.
Okay, mulch. They were probably using bark as the mulch. Okay, and what that does is it breaks down over time, and it helps add nutrients back into the soil there. It's like a cheap fertilizer. Okay, but the other thing it does is it holds moisture in the soil so that our bushes don't require as much watering and everything. They still keep that moisture that they need to be able to grow. Now, have y'all been real quiet while y'all been walking around here, or y'all been kind of loud?
Wow.
Yeah, if you're like my fifth grader, I'm sure you're probably loud and rambunctious. Okay.
That's how loud we were.
Yep.
No.
So, if y'all are real quiet, you would have been able to hear my trees, though. Yeah. They sound like dogs. They bark. See?
It's a pun.
It's a bad fork.
It's a play on words.
Okay, play on words, exactly. So we've got that bark on the outside. But there's one other thing that we can use that bark for. All right? In just a minute, you're going to go see this sawmill down here, the orange one down there, and it's going to run. But it uses gasoline to run the saw, okay? And it's a circular saw. It's got a round blade on it that spins, and that cuts the wood. But our modern sawmills, they use electricity to run. Okay, and so what we do is we take that bark off, and if we're not going to sell it for mulch, then what we will do is we will burn that bark, use it to heat water, which will make steam, spin a turbine which generates electricity, and we can make our own electricity right there at the mill, power our sawmill. Okay, and if we have got anything extra, we sell it back to the power company so they can power our homes and schools and businesses and things like that. All right, so in just a second, Mr. Tripp, he's got a real special job title for what he's going to do today. Okay? Like I said, his name is Tripp, but he is going to be our sawyer. Okay? The sawyer is the one that runs the sawmill. All right, they're the one that takes that log, puts it on there, puts it on the carriage, and then they decide, hey, I can cut all these different boards out of my sawmill.
Is that something that you go to school to do? To learn how to do?
Most of them probably not. They do at least have the high school education, but it's a lot of it's on the job training. But the modern sawmills, they use computers and lasers and all that, and so it's got a lot of automated parts and pieces to it. But they make sure that it's running exactly like it needs to. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to get up, and right over here on the ground, there are a couple of logs and stuff like that. We're going to line up right behind them. Don't put your feet on them. Don't kick them. Don't move them around. There may be ants underneath them, so we don't. A sleeping ant is a happy ant. Okay. All right. So, and then y'all are happy people because you don't have ants crawling on you. All right. So we're going to stand right behind us, and we're going to watch Mr. Tripp cut some board. Cut a board for us. All right. Y'all saw a board for us.
That was dangerous.
Alright, so y'all watch this stuff that comes Okay, so we got our board. This was the main thing that we wanted out of our sawmill, right?
Yeah.
We wanted a board. Okay. And what I'm gonna do, this is called rough sawn lumber. You can see where the blade went by and all that. So I'm gonna come by. I'll let y'all smell it. You probably can smell the sawdust in the air too. Be careful with this. Don't touch it with your hands. Don't touch it with your nose. I don't want anybody to get the splinter in their nose. Okay.
But it hurts so bad.
All right, y'all gotta listen to me though. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna come by with it. Y'all can smell it. If you're on the back row, don't worry. I'll hold it up over the top, and y'all will be able to smell also if you want. Okay. So, all right. So it's got a real, it's kind of a sweet or minty type smell. Okay. If those of y'all have hamsters, or you may have.
Yeah, it's cedar.
Oh, that's pretty cool. How many cedar trees grow out
I'm
here?
getting into it.
You want me to take it?
Yeah. So if y'all are back there on the back, y'all can sniff real quick.
I'm too short.
Hold on, we're gonna bring it this way, and you can come over here and smell it.
All right.
Can you pay attention to smell it?
All right. So we've got. This is a cedar log. Okay. If you look at it, that smell that smells real good to us does not smell good to insects and moths and things like that. So you may see this in a house, in your mom or your grandmom may have a what they call a cedar chest. Okay, and inside of it they keep blankets and afghans and sweaters and stuff like that. Keeps moths and other insects from eating their sweaters.
Is that what insect repellent's made out of?
No, that's made out of other stuff. But this is a natural insect repellent, okay? It doesn't, insects do not like this. The other place you may see this in a house is inside the closet or somewhere like that. All right? Okay? All right, so we got a board. In a home, we would find boards like this in the walls, right? This is helping to build the skeleton or the structure of our home, okay? You're not going to use cedar to build it, but you would use a 2x4 or something like that. So we're going to build the skeleton of our home, or you may find this in some furniture or stuff like that. All right, now let me set this off to the side. This was what shape?
Rectangular yellow.
Rectangular yellow. And our tree is what shape?
Yellow.
A cylinder, right?
Yellow.
Okay. So when you cut a rectangular prism out of a cylinder, you're going to have something that's left over. All right, and this is called the slab. It's that outer piece of the tree. You can see where it's got the straight sides that the board came from, but it's still got that nice rounded, like the outside of the tree. All right. So what we do with this? Remember, I said we're not going to throw anything away. We're going to use everything. All right. So this we would take and we would grind it up. We're going to make wood chips out of it, and then we're going to take those and we're going to make paper out of them. Okay? So we're going to put this in a big chipper and grind it up, and the slab is what we would use to make paper. So we use the bark for mulch. We use the bark to make electricity. We use the slab to make paper, right? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we use board. Was what we used board to make our skeleton of our house and used it to make furniture and all that kind of stuff. And then we had this stuff that was blowing off the sawmill. What is that?
Wood chip.
Sawdust. Okay? That's sawdust. And what we're going to do with that is we're going to make something that looks just like this.
Wow.
Sort of.
Plywood.
Okay? Sort of. All right. So what we've done, how many of y'all made Rice Krispie treats before?
I've eaten them before.
Made them? I've eaten them. I had one of them this morning. As a matter
Oh,
of fact.
wood.
Okay. So we make Rice Krispie treats. We take Rice Krispies. What do we use for the glue to hold them together?
Marshmallows.
And lots of butter.
Marshmallows. That's right. Okay, so we use marshmallows. So we take Rice Krispies, marshmallows, and we put a little bit of butter in there, and then we
Mash
it together
Now, if
and
you
we
want
put
to
it
be
on a
good
sheet,
at
and it makes Rice Krispie treats. All right. So we're going to kind of do that same thing to make this product. Okay. And this product is called particle board. So we're going to take that sawdust that I just had in my hand, and we're going to add glue to it, and then we're going to put it in a big machine called a press, and it squeezes it really tight. Okay. And when it squeezes it really tight, it makes a nice hard product that we can use. Okay, well, I'm going to tell you about that too. All right, so we make this nice hard product. I'm going to walk by and you can actually see all the little pieces of sawdust. Now, I don't want anybody to get a splinter in their finger, okay?
Easy to make.
But you can see the little pieces of sawdust that are in there. It's just, nope, we're not going to touch it. But we make something called particle board. All right, so what we do though, because this has got a real rough texture to it, it'd be hard to write on that or whatever, but this is nice and smooth, right?
Yeah.
So we take something called laminate, and it's just that little dark, thin layer, it's about the thickness of your fingernail. and we put that on top of it. And you can make it any color, shape, pattern, design, whatever you want it to be.
Make it look like wood.
Make it look like wood if you want, or whatever. And we make this. We use this for your countertops in your homes, your desks, your tables. We use it for your kitchen cabinets. We use it for your entertainment center that the TV is in. There's all sorts of things that we use particle board for. Okay, so it's a very useful product. So have we thrown anything away from our tree yet?
No.
No, we used everything, right? All right, so here's what we want to do. I'm going to get y'all to turn around. We're going to go back, sit back up there in the benches again, and we're going to talk about some more of the cool products that we can get out of trees. So
A what?
House.
A house. And what part of the house have we built so far?
The counters and the skeleton.
You got the counters, the skeleton, and maybe a closet. Is that a very good house? No, we're missing some serious parts of our house. What are we missing?
Outside.
The toilets. What's the outside?
The walls.
The walls. What else are we missing?
The shingles. The
The roof. What else?
The door.
We got. Well, that doesn't have to be inside the house. So we got to make the house. Okay, so we got
Walls.
walls. We have the roof and floors. I like floors in my house. I know some houses don't have floors, but most of the time they have floors these days. So can I take a board like this and nail them together and make a wall? Yeah, I could. In fact, my wife's house of screwing was old enough that they did this, but not a lot of houses are built like that anymore. They go to the store and buy one board that is 4 feet wide and 8 feet tall. Can I do that? Yeah, they're there. But how big of a tree do I need to cut a 4 foot wide board out of? How wide of a tree do I need? I need at least a 4 foot wide tree, don't I? Do you see any 4 foot wide trees out here?
No.
No, there's 4 foot wide trees exist?
Yes.
Yeah, they exist. But the redwood, but they're expensive, they're very precious to us, and we want to keep them the way they are. So, but we have lots of trees that are this size right there. So we're going to take a tree like that, and we're going to take it to a special mill. And to do that, we're going to pretend that this is a log. Can y'all do that for me? Yeah, what shape is this? Cylinder. What shape is the log? Cylinder. And what is this made out of?
Wood.
Paper. And paper's made out of?
Wood.
Wood. And what's the log made out of? Wood. So we're going to take this to a special mill. It's going to get a nice hot bath. And as it's soaking in that bath, it's going to get a little soft. Not real soft, it's still wood. It can't get too terribly soft. And it's going to go on a special machine called a lathe. And that's going to spin it really fast. And as it's spinning it, a big knife is going to come up next to it, and it's going to unpeel this log. Just like we can unroll this piece of toilet paper. And what we're going to get is something that looks like this. You want to build your floors out of this?
No.
No, I need a lovely assistant. Oh, there's a lot of lovely guys in here. But I'm going to use that one right there.
That's a girl.
You can only pick one. I know, but I can only pick one. All right, go ahead. Break it. Thank you. Hold on. One more time.
Break it.
Well, you got to do it that way. Yep.
All right. One more time. All right. Thank you so very much. Was that easy or hard?
Easy.
All right.
Wait, she got it right.
She did it.
You like that, didn't you?
You want to be my assistant? Well, come on up.
I want to be an assistant.
All right. What's your name? Justin. I know you're not a lovely assistant, but you're still my assistant. Never turn your back to the audience. Turn around. Thank you. All right. So, now, Ivy had the hard job. She had to break this in 4 separate pieces. All you have to do is break this once. Can you do that for me? All right. Let's go for rules of. You got to hold it like this. And you have to hold it tight. If you don't hold it tight, it'll pinch your fingers. And that it'll pinch your hand. And I don't want that to happen because that'll hurt. And I don't want you to get hurt. The other thing is that you have to hold it tight because if you don't, you can let go and it'll flop off and pop you in the face. And that'll hurt. And I don't want you to get hurt. Now, here's the good part. You can use your knee. You can use the underside of your knee. You can even use your head. Whoa, 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 whoa. This is very important. You have to help them remember this. You cannot use my head. Right, go ahead and give it a try. Hold it tight now. Oh! Where'd something crack? Was that your knee or was that the board? Oh, you want to try again or did that hurt too much?
Don't cry, buddy.
All right. Oh, I definitely heard your knee crack that time. All right, good, good job.
Break it once.
Actually, she broke it. All right, everybody put your hand down. Put your hand down. The reason why was it Justin? Yep. Justin couldn't break that is because he was essentially trying to make a product. We build houses out of them. We want that to be strong. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn these at right angles to each other. Y'all know what a right angle is, right? Yeah. Not to be confused with a left angle. So we want to put it at right angles to each other with a little bit of glue and a lot of heat and a lot of pressure, and we're going to get something that looks like this. Can everybody see the layers in this board? Alright, so what are we going to call this board? Plywood! And where are we going to find this in a house?
Everywhere.
Floors, walls, and roof. It's a really cool product because we can get this in big sheets and we can make it out of trees that are medium-sized trees like those over there or those over there. Now, we have a lot of medium-sized trees out here, but we have more little trees or more medium-sized trees?
Little.
We have more little trees. So someone said, man, it'd be really cool if we can make a tree or make a house out of little trees.
Tiny hole.
And so they decided, man, we're going to make a product that looks like this.
Wow.
You can build your house out of this?
No.
Yes.
A lot of
Yes,
it.
you
Maybe?
can.
Is that very strong? We might get a really little floor. Well, what we're going to do is, we're not going to build a house with this by itself. We're going to use a lot of them. And we're going to use a lot of them, and we're going to, just like plywood, we're going to make layers. In each layer, we're going to put some glue. The next layer, we're going to turn it, and orient them in different directions. Why do we want to orient them in different directions?
Make a bigger surface.
It'll make it stronger. It'll make it strong in all different directions. And then we're going to put a layer down, put some glue, put a layer down. Eventually, we're going to have a mat that's this thick. It's going to put through a lot of heat and a lot of pressure and squeeze it down. And we're going to have this product. Can everybody see the flakes in this product? All right, so we're going to call this ON. Now, that's actually an acronym, and it stands for Oriented Strand Board. And all that means is that the strands of fiber, strands of wood in these flakes are oriented in all different directions to give it strength. Now, we have...
OSB stand for?
What's that?
Oriented
strand board. I missed it. What is it?
Oriented.
Go ahead.
Oriented.
That's the teacher here.
Give them, man. All right, get your chip.
Yes.
He is paying attention. All right. All right, so we had somebody came along and said, man, OSB is such a great product, plywood's such a great product. We put those together, I bet you we have an awesome product. So they came up with this. Can everybody see that the OSB here?
Yeah.
Can everybody see the plywood here?
Yeah.
So what are we going to call this product? What shape is it? What shape is it? It's an I. So we're going to call this an I-beam. And where in the house are we going to find an I-beam?
The roofs. Floor.
We're actually going to find this underneath your house. And why do we find... Well, that's not your floor. It's underneath your floor. Because the floor just doesn't float in thin air. It's got to be nailed to something. We're going to nail it to the I-beam. Now, lots of houses, still, these are made out of solid pieces of wood. Now, we have to have a pretty big tree to get a board like this. You know, we could probably use a tree like we use plywood, but as Mr. Johnson told us, how many boards of that size can we get out of one log?
8.
2.
1.
One, maybe 2. So that's not a very good use of our wood. But we can take medium-sized tree, and one medium-sized tree make a lot of plywood, and we take little trees and make a lot of OSB, and we can make our I-beam out of medium-sized trees and small trees instead of having to use that one board from one log.
And the cool thing is we can make it as long as we want it to be.
Yeah. The only limitation is how long the truck is to get it there. So y'all look like a really smart class when you're coming up, but you know, Mr. Johnson said no. That is not the smartest class
No, they were before this.
yeah, that one before us was pretty smart. But so we decided we're gonna ask y'all a couple questions, see which one of us is right. If I'm right saying y'all are the smartest class we've had, or if Mr. Johnson's right saying the one we had before was the smartest. Now, this is actually kind of tough. All of y'all from the same school today. So, the first two questions, you can just yell out the answer. The third question, you have to raise your hand. You have to get the right answer. You have to tell me how you got the right answer, okay? All right, so in South Carolina, how many trees does it take to build the average size house?
25.
25. You can just yell that one out. The next one you can yell out too. In South Carolina, how many trees do we plant for every one we cut? 5. All right. Ooh, they knew that one. All right.
On their shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Now
nobody
you gotta
looks
listen
at
to
it.
this one. Listen very, very carefully. If I plant 250 trees, how many houses can I build?
10. Oh, wait. 10.
Oh. I made this one a little bit
How
harder.
many houses can you build?
I have 250 trees. How many houses can I build?
10. I said 10. 10?
No.
That's not the right answer. No. 10.
No.
I said 10. I said 10.
Yeah.
9.
10.
25 trees per house.
Seriously?
It
It is 10.
I don't know. I changed the question up so I even tricked myself on that one a little bit.
That is tricky.
Who got it right? You got it right the first time?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So here's a question for you. For 2 houses, how many trees do we plant? Right there.
Me?
Lee.
5.
Man.
2 houses.
15.
Did I ask the question wrong? I asked the question wrong. Oh, okay.
15.
All right, one more. I'm gonna take one more. How about right there in the back? No. Yeah, but you already got one. So tell somebody else. All right, Logan, how many? 250. Tell me how you got it. That's right. 2. Yeah. So we plant 125 trees back per house, right? And we got 2 houses. Deal, Logan. All right. Y'all have been great. If y'all would line up behind your guys, and they're going to take you to.
Thank you.
Yeah, y'all were a smart class.
Oh, good. You even stumped the teacher who asked the wrong question.
Yeah.